Next, singer Beyoncé is going to re-record one of her new songs because it contains a derogatory word often used to demean people with a form of cerebral palsy. Her first new album in 6 years is called Renaissance. It was released on Sunday, and one song, Heated, which was written by the rapper Drake, uses the word that we're choosing not to repeat. Beyoncé's publicist told the BBC that the word has different connotations in the US and was not used intentionally in a harmful way. It will be replaced in the lyrics, they added, without saying when that will happen. Well, this comes just a couple of weeks after fellow US pop star Lizzo apologised for using the same word in her song Girls. Within days, Lizzo apologised and re-recorded the song, removing the offensive lyric. Referring to Beyoncé's use of the term, one disability activist tweeted, "It feels like a slap in the face to me, the disabled community, and the progress we tried to make with Lizzo. I guess I'll just keep telling the whole industry to do better until ableist slurs disappear from music." Well, let's speak now to the BBC's music correspondent, Mark Savage. Hi, Mark. So, a new album from Beyoncé, always lots of publicity around it. This, though, the kind of publicity probably not what she wanted.
No, when it came out on Friday, actually, the reviews were glowing. This is Beyoncé's return to the dance floor. This is an album that is designed to produce hit singles. And it's worth remembering at this point, she hasn't had a #1 single in America, her home country, since Single Ladies in 2008. And so it was launched in a blaze of glory. And then people started to listen to the words. And this song in particular, Heated, as you say, co-written by Beyoncé and Drake, and in fact, 9 other people, has one slur that is used to refer to people with spastic cerebral palsy, particularly in Europe and the UK, less so in America. And it's repeated twice. And obviously people who have cerebral palsy and disability advocates, they were appalled that this could have slipped through the cracks. Because if you think about it, to release an album on the scale of a Beyoncé album, hundreds of people will have heard this track and approved it before it got sent to radio stations, to streaming services, and not one of them appears to have said, well, wait a minute, 5 weeks ago, Lizzo got into trouble for using this word. Do you think maybe we should think about this again? And that just doesn't appear to have happened.
It doesn't, and I want it begs a question, I suppose. Given the music industry and the money involved, one might expect nowadays that they have specific people to listen to tracks from all walks of life to give their opinion, to check that mistakes like this can't happen.
Certainly, they have teams of lawyers who listen to songs to see whether they sound like previous songs. There's another track on the Beyoncé album that gives a credit to Right Said Fred's song I'm Too Sexy, because she sings a line that sounds vaguely similar to that. I do think that in Beyoncé's case in particular, her albums are usually shrouded in secrecy. There's a lot of efforts to make sure that it doesn't leak, although this album did leak 48 hours before it was released. And maybe that meant that fewer people heard it than should have to prevent a situation like this. Of course, we don't know. But the good thing is that she has recognized what people have said to her very quickly. In fact, you know, the people only really started making a noise about this morning in Europe. And by the time America woke up, there was a statement saying that Beyoncé is going to re-record the song and replace those lyrics.
Yeah, and I suppose as frustrating as it will be for many people who have witnessed this incident, the good news in a way is that there's a way of publicity and highlighting the offence and harm that language can cause, and hopefully stops another incident. I just want to park that for a moment, just onto the record itself. Is it any good?
Yeah, well, that's the $1 million question, isn't it? Yeah, actually it is. I mean, Beyoncé hasn't really ever put out a bad album. That's obviously an impartial BBC view. But this one in particular, you know, her last couple of albums have very much been about the experience of Black women in America. She's done an awful lot of social protest songs. And this appears to be an album that was written during the pandemic. It's about shrugging off all of those concerns and going back to the dance floor. And funnily enough, it was very largely inspired by the Chicago and Detroit house movements, which themselves came from marginalized communities, from the LGBT community and the Black community in those cities. And so you would think that that would mean that Beyoncé might have had a thought about the disabled community as well, but it appears not.
Okay, Mark, thanks so much for that.